Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Vault Jersey. Joe Archino back here. And obviously, it's kind of big news. Our Super Bowl 50 is set. The Carolina Panthers taking on the Denver Broncos. I had one of the picks wrong. I did have the Patriots in playing the Panthers, but I mean, I think as a fan, I'm kind of happy we get Denver because let's be honest, we've kind of seen the act. We've seen New England, and I think it's kind of exciting now. We have kind of two different styles, and this very well could be the last time ever that we see Peyton Manning. And I think that's my first point that we can make from that clash yesterday, where the Broncos defeated New England 20-18. I think if that was the last time we ever got to see Tom Brady take on Peyton Manning, I think we can all walk away from that and be happy. I think that was an epic clash and perhaps a epic final to one of the greatest historic rivalries we've seen of all time. And there's one thing if you get to see a great quarterback during his run, but it's another when you maybe get to see the two greatest of all time go head to head during the same era. I mean, I think we're seeing that similar type of thing in soccer with Ronaldo and Messi, and it always makes it interesting because if you had a guy like Montana, you can't really compare Montana to anybody during his run because he didn't really have a rival. Having a rival is good for sports. It's interesting. Peyton and Tom will always have been compared at every twist and turn, like in soccer with Messi and Ronaldo. You don't always get that, but I think it's always good to have, and certainly we've had that with Manning and Brady. And look, now Brady moves to 3-4 on the road in the playoffs over his career. It's so difficult to win in the NFL, and I think that's why I think sometimes the Peyton Manning stuff is overblown for his inability to win in the postseason. It is so hard. And we know now, he's the only player in NFL history to take 4 coaches to the Super Bowl, to take 2 different teams to multiple Super Bowls. That in itself is so hard to do. I don't think people really appreciate sometimes how incredibly difficult it is to get to there. Winning it by itself is so hard, but just getting there is so extremely difficult. And for Payne to have now been able to take 4 different coaches, to take 2 different organizations to multiple Super Bowls, that's just such a testament to his greatness, and his greatness should never, ever be disputed or in question. I don't care about some of the playoff things. That is a guy who has done it time and time again. It is so hard to do, and he is as good as it will ever get. But in that game, look, I thought Denver's limited offense was clearly not going to be able to beat New England. I thought they were going to have to settle for too many field goals, and it was just not going to work out for them. But that was one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen. I've seen in my life, I think, 3 great defensive performances where Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were just flat out beat by the better team. That was the New York Giants in 2007 when they beat them in the Super Bowl. That was the Baltimore Ravens on their run to the Super Bowl. And that was this year the Denver Broncos. Those 3 defensive performances were the best that I've ever seen, and I don't think we'll ever see anyone replicate that level of performance against Brady and Belichick. It was spot on. Just the pressure. There's one way you beat Brady. It's pressure. It's constant pressure, sending pressure every now and then, and they did that. They really brought the house every time that they could. Von Miller you heard Phil Simms say it, he was anticipating the snap count. There were times where Brady just did not recognize he was coming at all. He was unbelievable in that game. He really they could not stop that pass rush, and that is how you beat Brady, and that's what they did. Obviously, now the attention shifts to Carolina. Can that defense away from Mile High do the same thing? And that's a conversation for another day in another segment. But I think that defensive performance was as good as you could ever ask for, and they are the best defense in the National Football League. They showed it in that game. Peyton Manning is the next interesting one. Peyton Manning came into this game with a lot of uncertainty. We all said the same thing. He can't throw the ball 20 yards down the field. He's very limited. This is just not, he has the inability right now to make the explosive plays. Well, in this game, he was able to make the explosive plays. The biggest thing that I think that you could see from this, I think Peyton played this game like he had nothing to lose. You saw him take a lot of sacks. He got hit in this game as well. But I just saw this this sense of calmness over Peyton. I think he was playing this game knowing this might be the last time he ever played. There's no regrets. He leave everything out there, and I think sometimes in the playoffs, he has played very guarded, very afraid to make mistakes, to do some things. This game, no. He played this game like he had nothing to lose, like this might be the final time he would ever take the field. There was no fear in his eyes. He was going to put his body on the line. He was going to put himself through whatever vigors he had to secure this win. And the throws, some of the throws that he made were big time, bigger than we've seen in a while. I mean, look, coming into this game at Mile High this season, he had 1 touchdown. But in this game, right away, the first drive, I think he set that tone. This is what I'm here to do. I am fine. And he certainly did it. I mean, we even saw Peyton Manning pick up the first down with his feet. If that's not a testament to how he was feeling for that game, I don't think anything else will. And he clearly looked sharp in this one. I thought for Peyton, it was a big confidence booster to that entire team. And again, I know now the conversation will continue to shift to what is it going to look like in the Super Bowl. Will Carolina's defense be too fast? Again, I will save that for another segment, but that was quite the confidence booster that I think we all were desperately looking for, and it was just such a great clash between two fantastic teams. I'm looking at the numbers a little bit now. You know, the 4 sacks, that the registered sacks that the Broncos had. Von Miller was as good as it gets. And previewing the matchup a little bit, now going into predictions, I think when you have dominant linebackers and you have a quarterback who can play and is efficient, you have a very good chance of winning a Super Bowl. Carolina has the best linebacker in the game in Luke Kuechly, and then you look at what they have. A quarterback, Cam Newton's been the best quarterback in the NFL this season. The Broncos, same thing. I think Peyton Manning clearly not the same level as Cam, much more regressed because of his age and his physical decline, but he still is capable of winning anything. And then Von Miller, one of the best in the game when it comes to that position. So both these teams have all the formula to win it, which I think makes it even more interesting. I think Carolina probably would have given New England too many problems. I know Tom Terrific is always good when the stage is brightest, but I just think Carolina's overwhelming youth and speed and talent and depth would just be too much for that banged-up team right now, especially in the secondary. I just think Cam would have too big of a day. So I think this sets up for a tremendous game. Again, it's kind of like we had with Seattle and Denver. You have the best defense in the league going against the most explosive offense in the league. It will be a lot of fun, and I will certainly be back with my predictions as soon as I do all my review. Until I'm fully 100% committed, I'm kind of leaning towards Carolina, of course, right now. But again, until I'm 100% certain, I won't make the final pick. But until then, Jersey Joe Archino here with the Sports Vault. Until next time, follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino, on Instagram, Jersey_Joe_Archino, and I'll be back very soon.